I feel sad right now remembering the killings in many parts of Plateau State, especially Riom local government, which is my hometown. Could you please join me to observe a few seconds of silence for the departed souls? Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Psych and Poetry. I am your host, Nirat Rap. For those of us in Plateau State, Nigeria, we are most aware of how attacks and crises have caused us so much pain, whether it's the destruction of our crops, properties, security, and sadly even the loss of our lives or that of our loved ones. It is so aggravating to listen to the circumstances that lead to such attacks, which leaves people displaced. They are hungry, scared, sad, aggrieved, physically and emotionally injured. They are confused, vulnerable, and so angry. I remember some of the experiences shared by internally displaced people in Mango local government during a research project my older brother carried out. Every one of us has their own story of pain or loss or disappointment, so I'd like to share a little bit of mine with you today. All my life, I always had my family close to me, especially my parents. My father is what you would call a true family man. He lived for God and his family. I had never experienced hunger as a child, as in lack was never something I had to worry about. I had been a daddy's girl for well over a decade before I had a sister, so just imagine how loved and adored I was by my dad. Fast forward to June 2025. On Father's Day, I lost my dad after he struggled with diabetes for 2 decades. I thought that after sharing this, I would be able to talk to you about grief after having lost one of my longest and dearest relationships, my own father. I just realized that maybe we can't really talk about grief in its full form, or maybe I still don't understand what grief is. I cried on the day he died. I cried a week after. I cried at the burial site. And I've cried some nights afterwards. I felt sad, relieved. Sometimes I felt angry. I felt hurt and pain. And I felt tired, really tired. But I've also felt comforted because guess what? Dad was a believer and follower of Jesus Christ. For him to die is gain. The world system says, I have lost. But Jesus says, I have gained. Of course, I miss Dad and I'll miss him always. But I'm glad that I got to be with him long enough for him to see me become a Christian, a woman, a graduate, a girl he was proud of. I can't lie, I do have a few regrets, but I am so glad Dad passed away in the Lord. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Psych and Poetry. Please do like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment so we can interact. If you feel like it, do share your own story of pain too. Ciao.